Is exercise good for anxiety? Yes. Next question. Could exercise really be the secret to calming down an anxious mind? Well, yes and no. And the reason is, as first discovered by Pythagorean Alcmaeon of Croton circa 510 BC, humans have brains, allegedly. Now this Alcmaeon guy was the first person to theorize that our thoughts, identity and self actually originate within our brain. We've since done a lot more research and realized that inside our brain there are different control centers that are responsible for different behaviors. Now this little angry guy here, he's called the amygdala. Now this is the fear center of the brain, and up until recently it was believed that this was responsible for anxiety and worry. Nowadays, we realize that there actually is no anxiety center from the brain. Instead, most experts believe that anxiety actually comes from the constant chatter between our emotional amygdala and our logical frontal lobe. Now these guys can talk to each other quite a bit, and when our emotional brain puts up a convincing enough argument, the rest of our brain just seems to follow suit. Now this happens a lot more frequently in the absence of a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is basically the feel-good hormone. It's released when we're enjoying ourselves. I bet we all know a good source of dopamine. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Alright, I was talking about exercise, but okay. See, when we exercise, we produce large quantities of the chemical dopamine. And dopamine has the unique ability to kind of comfort our emotional amygdala. It just kind of gives it a couple of cuddles and tells it some lovely things, until eventually our amygdala begins to settle down a little bit and feel a little bit happier. The reason that exercise is more beneficial than, say, playing computer games is that it actually upregulates the rate in which we produce dopamine, meaning that it starts to spill over into the rest of our life whilst we're not exercising. Now at the start of the video, I said yes and no. And the reason I said no there isn't because exercise doesn't produce these things, but because for some people exercise is such a foreign concept that it could actually produce anxiety. Am I doing this right? Are people looking at me? I feel silly. I don't have the clothes to wear. I'm not fit enough to do this. There's a whole host of obstacles of why people might not choose to exercise. Now luckily for us, there's no suggestion that one type of exercise is better than the other. The only criteria for this is that it needs to get your heart rate up, last at least 5 minutes, and ideally eliminate distractions. This opens you up to pretty much every type of exercise, from powerlifting to figure skating. If it makes you feel good, do it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. See you next week.